All right, let's talk about thinking errors in betrayal trauma. Again, these can actually go either way. Overgeneralization, seeing patterns based on limited experiences. I know you wore cologne when you acted out, and so now if you wear cologne, I think you're going to act out. The problem with that could be that the person actually wore cologne every day, even when they didn't act out. And they didn't act out more days than they did. But what they're doing is they're taking this limited experience, cologne when you acted out, and they're creating a pattern based on that. That's overgeneralization. Catastrophizing, so expecting the worst, but that's a very common one, expecting the worst, because it's protective. Catastrophize it, and I expect the worst, then I'm going to be braced for when that happens. Personalization, so seeing others' behaviors as a reaction to oneself. You did that because of me, or because of how you see me. What you did is about me in some way. What you did speaks to who I am or how you see me. I'm not going to say that that's never the case, but it often isn't. But we personalize it. That's a thinking error for me to think, oh, he did that because I wasn't good enough, or even because he thought I wasn't good enough. That is a thinking error. Polarized thinking, this one, there is evidence about this often, not always, being related to a frontal lobe that is more offline. We know that when we're in a limbic driven state, more reactive state, more threat-based state, we're much more likely to go into polarized thinking, all or nothing thinking. Everything is true, false, right, wrong, good, bad, black, white, all, nothing. It's good or it's bad. And it's very appreciating shades of gray, appreciating nuance, allowing space for complexity. It requires that frontal lobe. And so anytime I'm in this place where, oh, you're a monster, he's just a monster. Again, I'm not going to say that's never the case, but that's polarized thinking in that moment. Now, rooted on very real fears and pains. However, it is a perception that is likely not taking into account the full reality. Emotional reasoning. So brain science would back me up when I say that it is wrong to pit logic with emotion. They are not opposed to one another. And in fact, the way the brain works, you can't have one without the other unless there's been like traumatic brain injury or a deficit in the brain. Emotional reasoning isn't trusting feelings instead of logic, because even if you have emotional reasoning, what it's doing though is it's taking emotion as the definitive data point. Because I'm mad right now, I act on this and I justify this and I rationalize this thing because I'm angry right now. What we want to do instead is we want to recognize that feelings, emotions are one data point among a number. Yet don't ignore your emotion. You hold it next to other data points. What are my values? How will I feel if I act on this emotion in this way? Who else is around? Who else would be harmed by me doing this, saying this, right? So it's dangerous for emotion to become the only data point.